Good morning, everyone. It's June 29th, 2011, and I'm looking at CNN World, and this title is Iran Testing Missiles That Could Carry a Nuclear Weapon. UK's Hague says. Well, duh. I told, I said something about this earlier, but really, does it even have to be printed in the news? I mean, obviously they're testing missiles that could carry a nuclear weapon. That's what those Shahib missiles were, that they just you know did testing on the other day. It's not. This isn't surprising at all. Of course, they're gonna carry out tests, and this says they've been covert tests. Well, obviously, they don't want people to find out. I mean, it's just this is an example of an article that, in my opinion, ratchets up the fear. I mean, a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to go, "Oh man," a lot of sheeple are going to get very scared about it, and they're okay. Yeah, there's reason to worry. I get kind of worried about it, but this is definitely, I mean, if you have a brain and you've been paying attention to what's been going on with Iran and their quest for nuclear power, and their quest for a nuclear bomb, then this shouldn't surprise you one bit. What I do find is interesting is this article that comes out of the worldtribune.com. Well, actually, I don't really find this surprising either, but this was on Wednesday, June 22nd. U.S. Air Force advised to conduct simulations for a strike against nuclear Iran. Let's see what it says. The U.S. Air Force has been urged to prepare for war with Iran. Again, I've been talking about this and I've been saying, this is going to happen, but I kind of think Syria is going to go first, especially if Turkey gets involved, which there are indications that they will. Anyway, the RAND Corporation asserted that the Air Force must increase exercises and testing of weapons as part of preparations for any order to attack Iran. In a report for the Air Force, RAND warned that the prospect of a U.S. airstrike could turn real once Iran was deemed to have assembled a nuclear weapons arsenal. Timelines for military tasks will depend on what happens in Iran's nuclear program, the report titled Iran's Nuclear Future. Critical U.S. policy choices prepared for the Air Force. The report urged such U.S. preparations as exercises and war simulations. Interesting how we had, considering that we just had that big drill on the East Coast that they said was to test our military's capabilities with all their what was it, their air capabilities. It's interesting that we're looking at something that might be an invasion type of drill, or at least that's what the exercise might have been. It's just kind of interesting. Anyway, design exercises and war games to support different policy choices. Exercise objectives for bombers could aim not only to demonstrate to Iran that investment in nuclear capabilities could possibly be destroyed, but also to influence the international Iranian debate over nuclear weaponization. The simulations would be based on the escalations of conflict between Iran and the United States. Rand said the war games would test the Air Force's ability to deter Iran with and without nuclear weapons. I'm sorry, with and without U.S. nuclear weapons. Provide ways to manage escalation in conflict with Iran, the report said. Investigate concepts of operations to manage escalation in U.S. Iran conflict, e.g., reinforce political communications that signals limited U.S. objectives. Focus on immediate threat by directly targeting Iran's regime supporting paramilitary forces and withhold targeting of Iran's political leadership. Okay, this is a pretty, telling article. Again, it was on June 22nd, right before or during, I think it might have been during the week-long exercise we just did dealing with an attack or an invasion. They want to talk about testing air capabilities, but they were testing an attack, or repelling an invasion or invading a country. Think about that for a second. So we got this article, and then we got the typical fear piece, in my opinion. People who read this on CNN are going to go, oh no, they got nuclear weapons, and this is just the type of article that the global elite want you to see, because if, like I said before, they're ramping up their propaganda machine to focus on a possible war with either Syria or Iran. But right now it's looking more and more like maybe it's Iran they're going to want to hit first. Anyway, this is just my opinion based on the stuff I've read. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Just post down there and I'll see if I can't reply. Thanks.